the good outweighs the bad, but my goodness, the bad can be so loud. The damage that happens as a result of that is just, I think you've talked about, and you tweeted it recently, that we haven't yet begun to realize the legacy and the effect that all of these platforms and what social media and what the online space is doing to all of us on a deeper level. And that's what I think people haven't realized. We're in it now, but we have a chance to get ourselves out of it.
Mm-hmm. I was a history major at UVA, and I studied post World War II, sort of post-war Germany, the denazification process, basically, that both West and East Germany went through. And I never thought it would serve me now 15 years later, but in a way it is, because I do think there's going to be some work that will need to be done to de-radicalize a generation, especially here in the United States, who, predominantly white, predominantly male, feeling very disaffected and sort of left behind and frustrated by a lot of things, and who found solace, who found community, who found kinship in dark corners that normalized really socially toxic behavior, whether it was racism or misogyny. I mean, you can sadly see this, and I think historians will have the receipts. They'll be able to see this sort of paper trail, and I think more and more of these stories are starting to surface, and more manifestos will be published, and we'll get a sort of much more raw and real and tragic glimpse into this. But I think that is going to be a lot of the important work of the next decade or so, to try to find ways not just to curb the abuse going forward, but also to sort of reintegrate folks who, have used these platforms to find community around some of the most vile things. And it is the gift and the curse of this technology, because we can now commune online in a way that is really as real as offline. I think for a long time, people were very skeptical that you could build a relationship with a stranger on the internet about your love of Pokemon that's just as real as your best friend at the office, who you see every day or used to see every day. But the reality is, I think we all have examples now, and it's pretty statistically significant, of people who have built very close relationships and friendships with people they don't even know offline.
Yes. Sometimes even closer than the ones they have in real life.
Precisely. And so if we can accept that, and we understand that, and we believe that, then it is not a leap to consider the effect of what this does for recruiting, what this does for those really abhorrent, awful sort of ideologies and communities that can be formed. Because it's a great thing, and we should celebrate it when you find someone else who loves Pokemon as much as you do. That's great. And there are plenty of things that are either as benign as Pokemon or as wonderful as, being in a community where being out is a problem, and finding an LGBT community online that you can speak to truthfully and candidly and openly. And so there's that spectrum. But those online relationships are just as real when they are negative. And what starts even almost sometimes gets waved off as being just a joke, or, oh, that's just offensive humor, is a way to actually normalize really problematic behavior.